Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Astrological Intentions. A very Merry Christmas. This is episode 24, and I am your host, Alex Reevy, helping bring the stars down to earth with my wonderful, Merry Christmassy mother, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, Alex. Merry Christmas to you. You know, just as the Star of Bethlehem, the story of Merry Christmas, right? And this is today. And we're talking about the bringing the stars down to earth.
Wonderful. Right? So we have coming up in the transits, Venus sextile Pluto.
Love can change your life.
Mars moves into Aries.
On to a new direction.
Sandy has some talisman times that she made last week, as well as coming up on the horizon. We have some events, cosmic trends, your solar-powered year, and our Bali retreat.
And then we have a funny story in our house. We always like to play games at Christmas. Check out this one.
You're going to want to play this game. Absolutely. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
It is Christmas Day, and we just want to send all of our love and holiday cheer to you all around the world, around the U.S. So happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, we're in it. It's happening right now. So maybe you're listening to this on the 26th.
Yes, probably. So basically, I want to start right off with our Going Direct, where we like to bring in some comments and wonderful letters that we receive from our listeners. So we have this amazing comment from Instagram. Beyond Zen Jess mentioned us in one of our posts. She was telling her friend about us, saying, "This is the wonderful team and beads I was telling you about. My big transformational moment in their class was at Wanderlust this year. The energy was so intense. I was the last one to go up and affirm, I am a loving and bold healer. I wanted to yell it, but with all the tears flowing down my face, it didn't come out like that. I have truly stepped into my power since this class, so thank you. Things have been lining up for me, and every day is a gift."
I'm getting goosebumps on this.
That was so great,
Seriously.
right? So definitely, Jess, many thank yous for that wonderful comment and sharing with your friends. This is how we get known. This is how our podcast gets shared. So I thank you all. We also had another Instagram post that I breezed over the last couple of weeks, but Missy Page said, "Loved your podcast and wow, awesome London. This week resonated so much with me. In early September, I connected with someone, and this week I just had enough of the ebbs and flows in between the affection and indifference. So for the first time in my life, I decided to be strong and just let him know that I liked him. Totally outside my comfort zone, but now I feel just good in trying something new." So that was, was really wonderful.
Missy. Good for you. Yeah. You know, when we have a goal, we can't keep doing the same thing. That's what happens with this, cycles.
Yeah.
And repeated lessons.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, right? So good for you.
Yeah.
Trying something new.
And also, I mean, when you're really, your heart is open and you're truthful with how you feel in that very moment, that's a purity, and that's going to be able to shine a light on who is going to be in your world and who's not going to be in your world.
Right.
So that's a beautiful thing. And
Can be scary,
but your community and your support is all right here. Then we have in the transits, we have Venus sextile Pluto.
Right. That happens on Friday, December 28th at 3:27 p.m. Central. And I titled it, Love Can Change Your Life. Right? Venus is in this configuration. Mm-hmm. It's sextile, which is a 60 degrees. And that allows, it's, half a trine. Mm-hmm. Trine is 120, which says what falls easily into your lap. A sextile says it's here. The opportunity is available. You have to take initiative.
It's just behind the door.
You have to go get up off the couch and open up the door. So this time period with the Pluto is about deep emotional bonds. It's about connecting to your loved one. It's almost like in such a profound way, Pluto is all about transformation. It's about evolution. So there's a transcendental manner where you go into a deep place where you find new truths, right? And Venus is saying, let's do it around our money. Let's do it around our love. Let's do it around our creative, artistic nature.
And and maybe this is just just the silliness in me, but like Venus sextile Pluto sounds like a very sexual, very, because you said like it's very penetrating and, transcendental. And also Venus is all about love and, kind of like what we find to be beautiful. And those, if they are coming together in an opportunistic way, tell me more.
It certainly can be. It's almost like a tantric type of intrigue, almost possessiveness, that you want to stay for a long period of time, right? It's a place where you share your feelings. This is your deep feelings, and any relationships that come up now have a faded quality. They're very powerful. It's like there's a magnetic connection, a very powerful force that connects the two of you. So pay attention on the it's a Friday, the 28th. It's right in between Christmas and New Year's. That often is a time for, joy and happiness and friendships and maybe little trips here or there. So,
and even within Venus sextile Pluto too, on the other hand, say if you're not in a relationship or there's, no opportunities in that realm coming, the Venus and sextile Pluto could also be something about, really being engaged with those things that you value. So, and it wouldn't necessarily need to be a lover or, that, partner. It could also be, family life. It could be
creative.
Yeah. Or even our art, that whatever, if we play music, if we paint, if we, whenever we're really engaged and loving and in that beauty of life, that's where we can be really engaged, and that's where love can change our life. So
even any art can really show intense emotions here.
Yeah.
Right. So, you can often go to an art gallery and look and say, you can almost feel, and it's just a landscape.
Right.
But, you can see a blob, where somebody just puts a big blob on and
you still feel it.
If you can feel that intensity, that's what this is. It's in whatever arena you're playing on Friday the 28th, to do it with this profound connection.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that sounds really exciting. And what also profound, comment that you made, because when you bottom line the transits, when we're doing the kind of 1-2 punch and I say Venus sextile Pluto and you said love can change your life. And I really, truly believe that too, where love can change our life in every moment. If we just decide and kind of come back to love.
Especially self-love.
Yeah. Self-love. As well as when we're in situations that it's hard to love because there's so much going on in our heads. If we can just return back to, wow, here I am in this world, in this moment, beautiful. So, I mean,
even if you're not in a relationship and this doesn't bring in your creativity, have it bring in the self-love. Have it bring in deep within you. What do you love about yourself?
That's a great question.
Focus on that.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, everyone, you have a homework assignment now.
You should have time,
right? It's Christmas.
Nobody's really working hard out there right about now. Not unless you're in the hospitals and helping us in the airlines and the airport and the gas stations.
Well,
and every
you can
place
still return to love. Every minute there is a an opportunity, a moment for us to really connect.
I like that.
Yeah.
Return to love.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that.
So the next transit
is New Year's Eve. I was going to say day, but it's Eve. This is Monday, the 31st of December. It's New Year's Eve. And Mars, the planet Mars, is moving into his home sign, Aries. Now, Mars loves being in Aries. And this happens at 8:20 p.m. This is Chicago. And I titled it On to a New Direction. Really interesting that this is happening now. This is, hours away from a new year.
Right.
And Mars is moving into its own home sign of Aries that says, go fast now.
Soldier on.
Right?
Start marching.
It's the athlete. It's the no fear, go. It's the swoop sign that says, did I say that funny?
The swoosh.
The swoosh. The swoosh.
There it is. Swoop.
The swoosh sign of just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So what's really interesting, because I even did some research. Oh, do you want to know about the research I did?
Of course, yeah. I think we all want to know.
I picked some. I went back all the way to the year I was born, 1956. And I wanted to see where has Mars moved into Aries on the 31st or the 1st of the year, because, that seems to set the new year period for everyone.
Right.
Well, really an astrological new year is the 1st of spring.
Right.
So it's that March 19th is the degree of the last day of the zodiac year, which is actually my birthday. And then the next day, March 20th, is the first day of the astrological year, of the zodiac year.
Yeah.
Because it's Aries. It's starting with spring.
We should do something special for that, because that's kind of like the astrology new year.
Right. But how about, I'm recovering from my birthday. Maybe I'm sleeping in that day.
That's true.
How about that plan? But when we use this energy, it truly is a new year.
Right.
Right. It truly is.
I mean, it's a spark plug.
It's the spring. It's the advantage. It's the energy. It's high energy. It's the ruler of Aries. Mars loves going home, to engage with force, assertion, and sometimes aggression. Let's be honest. Mars is a malefic. Mars energy can show up as anger, frustration, really pissiness. Speaking,
or like too much willpower.
focusing only on one goal,
kind of knocking people down as you go.
But oftentimes you need that if you're going to be the marathon runner, right? Or you're.
But I think that there's a balance there.
Well, that would be working on a marathon would be like, okay, 2 months before the marathon, focus on that. That would be me. But the forward moving, it's a strong drive. It's a place where maybe you would take a risk because you really seriously feel like you have all systems go. You have all the power, you have all the strength, and there's very little fear. Little fear.
I mean, Mars is the one to like trudge ahead. And with the energy of Aries, it's almost like he's already sprinted even before somebody could, have that gunshot to start the race. It's like Mars is already.
So I did the research and went back and looked to see where Mars had moved in, and had ever moved into 0 degrees of Aries since 1956 in the 62 years. The answer is no.
Wow.
Right. It moves, like in 2003, it moved in, and this is looking at the 31st or the 1st, moved in to 9 degrees of Aries. 1988, it was 20 degrees of Aries. 1971, it was 3 degrees of Aries. That was the closest.
Close. Mm-hmm.
And in 1956, it was 13 degrees of Aries. So never once has it gotten to 0 degrees of Aries.
Very
right
cool.
As we're having a new year.
Yeah.
So truly, everyone, on to a new direction. Have good thought around your plan because you have the energy to do it. We don't want it just to be firing out there and going in many different directions. Mm-hmm. This is a year really for a direct plan.
Wow. And actually, just you saying that is just making me remember that how important too is it to have that main focus. What are we really going to put our energy into this year? And that one way to do that is by using a talisman. And that's exactly what you do.
And don't forget, we've got Jupiter in Sagittarius, which says, go far.
Right.
It has the glyph of a arrow. Mm-hmm. And that's also a fire sign. So Mars and Jupiter align in a trine. Talk about huge energy.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
I mean, that's almost like, that's exciting me. I mean, I'm like ready to go. When is this new year coming? I really want this to happen. This is, let's get going already. What is that like also a side effect of this too, about being like very overly excited and antsy to get it started? It is actually,
this energy, well, I mean, you're feeling it quite early, but because right now Mars is in the sign before Aries. And so that is Pisces. And so for you and I that are Pisces, we're getting Mars hitting our sun at some point. It's actually, if you knew where your planets were, if you knew you had any planets in Pisces. Mm-hmm. Mars is coming up to hit that. Mars, heck, it's already at like 18. Let me just check on this.
And even just to like remind our viewers who are somewhat new to astrology, the chart that you have, which is called a natal chart, is so much more than just a newspaper clipping of astrological horoscopes. So when you actually get your whole chart figured out by an astrologer or casted from an astrologer, you can see that you actually have Pisces in your chart, even if you're not a Pisces. So that's basically, I just wanted to give that quick aside so people can understand that, even if with Mars being in Pisces right now, mm-hmm. Mars is at a specific point in your chart, and that mm-hmm. has meaning and that has purpose for you specifically.
Right. So right now, Mars is at 21 degrees of Pisces. So over the next until the 31st, it will move from 21 Pisces to 29 Pisces. It'll actually hit my sun. Mm-hmm. And then it moves into Aries. So, big energy around the first. And then, of course, we head to our retreat in Mexico.
Right. We'll
be leaving, the second, the third, and meeting people there on the 5th.
Yes, I'm so excited. So tell me a little bit about the talismans that you made, because I know that there aren't any talismans coming up this week.
Right. Well, if I could get to them, I would. I would definitely get this Venus sextile Pluto.
Right.
But that Friday, I'm doing a webinar. We've got a constellation.
We have other
can't
plans for these transits, because really we do a lot of our business planning, business dealings, all from
these transits.
Astrological transits. Because sometimes our webinars are early in the morning, late at night.
Built around the universe.
Of course. So tell me some of the talisman times that you did.
So on Thursday, December 20th, I really, really liked the Uranus and Sun in a trine, and to discover the unique differences in the world. I open my eyes, mind, and heart to be in the wonderment of my existence and on this vast earth. Really liked that one. I also liked the little bit later that day, we have December 20th, we have Venus trine Neptune, to envision a peaceful and spiritual place in my world. I time travel to a place I so love and I so enjoy. I now am able to go there when I choose.
What a blessing too, right? Because really we do have this innate power to really transport ourselves with memories, with, just thinking about a thought. We're almost transformed to that place, to that feeling that we're feeling inside. But to remind ourselves that we have the power of choosing where these planes of existence are.
That we can go back there.
Right. Yeah. That's wonderful.
This is just in our minds. It's in our vision's eye. And, when you can put these two together, Venus, trine, Neptune, this could be music.
Right.
Yeah. This is definitely a meditation. This could be
even a guided meditation.
Mm-hmm.
We have,
and so no new talisman times this week.
Right. Yeah. So definitely there are some other options to get talismans this year. Well, before the year ends, and to really set ourselves up for this new Mars and Aries energy. Yeah. We're going to mainly talk about your solar powered year, which you are so excited about.
We're almost there, folks. We only have a little bit we're in 1 week's time. I'll be doing a solar powered year webinar. Now it'll be a 2-hour webinar. You have a choice of noon time, like lunchtime-ish on the December 31st, or around the same time on January 1st. Mm-hmm. Now, seriously, what do? I know that I used to work when I used to be in my radiology and working for the Bulls and doing all that I used to work on those days. But
majority of people have those days off, so come along. And
even if you did have to work, or you were traveling and you were gone on vacation, you don't need to be present at the webinar. It'll be a live webinar. It's recorded.
Right.
And all I'm doing in this, what I'm doing in this 2-hour webinar is how to use the data that I have sent you already in your email.
Right. And so this is going to be
a 6-page document that I'm sending you based on your chart.
And the webinar is going to explain your top transits that people really need to watch out for, because you're going to get 66 days per year that you can really have on your calendar with a big old star that you can get excited about, that you can get get ready and prepared for.
Schedule, plan.
Right. And this is a perfect opportunity, because not only does this webinar work for 2019, it also continues to work throughout the next years and into the, this is a great tool for you to really kind of have your calendar set out at the beginning of the year, getting excited for these dates and knowing what ebbs and flows there are going to be along the way.
And actually, since we're talking about calendars, we have the celestial calendars on our website.
Oh, right. Yes.
We have some left. So you'd really want to get that maybe in your calendar arena.
Absolutely.
I carry one in my purse. I have the pocket ones that are like $8. And what these calendars do, they're celestial calendars that give you every single transit.
Right. With the times.
And the phases of the moon for 2019 for every month. And I literally carry this around in my purse because I never know when, where's the moon right now? Or where's Venus? I want to document that, whatever occurred in my life. And boom, it's right there. It's $8. And I often thought I'd have a webinar if we had a lot of sales there. I would have a webinar on how to use it.
Oh, yeah. And really, it's really self-explanatory. Those calendars have, in the first few pages of those calendars are basically how to use the calendar and what the astrological symbols and signs and everything mean, so that you can, even as a beginner, even if you've never owned something like that before, it is an easy way just to have it. I keep mine in my laptop bag. I keep one in my purse too. So those are easy resources just to go to.
Right. And there's a couple. There's some that have the ringed binder where you can write all your notes. It's some people's
their style,
their task, their duties and responsibilities and their meetings. It's their only calendar. Mm-hmm. I have the flip one, the bigger one that I have in all of my desks and in sanctuary.
Yeah,
and then I carry one in my bag.
Yeah,
in my purse.
And we love those. There also is another event that we have coming up, and this is Cosmic Trends. We're going through the first quarter. So we do these quarterly, and they're on Facebook Live. So even if you are not local to Chicago, you can still join us. And this is a special because it's going to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not just 1, but 2 hours of Sandy and Susan going through. They're going to breeze through the entire year. But then they're also going to really focus in on the first quarter so you can get your calendars and even those calendars we were just talking about out just to double check and make sure that you understand what all of those symbols and what those signs mean.
That's a good point because if so many people are trying to learn astrology and it's not it's definitely learnable. Absolutely.
Right.
But it is, you do have to kind of come over a little speed bump there for a minute while you're learning the glyphs,
right?
While you're learning what squares and sextiles and conjunctions and what those glyphs look like. And to get, jiggy with that would be this calendar that you're talking about that we're selling.
The jiggy calendar.
The jiggy celestial calendar that helps you because what we talk about is already listed on each one of those pages. So you don't even need to rewrite it. You're just following and you're writing in those little squares, right?
Absolutely.
What we're saying.
Yeah.
And again, that's also
and it's so
recorded.
much fun. And it's also so much fun to watch you two up, in front of the camera because you're just playful together. And it's just it's a wonderful way, because even if there are maybe challenging days that are coming up.
Oh, there will be.
Right. And you and Susan, the way that you present everything, there's just.
Well, it's funny. She's a Capricorn. I'm a Pisces.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that you're definitely the optimistic astrologer. There's no doubt.
Well, she's a Capricorn, so she's keeping it real.
Right.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't like to.
You like to keep it mystical.
I like to keep it like, well, maybe, but maybe this too. How about that?
But it's really nice the way that you well, because that's what we do, for those Chatting with the Stars
readings,
events and readings, is that you two bounce off of each other so well so that everyone is pretty much looking at the two sides of the same coin together and just seeing different perspectives of how you can look at this one transit.
Right. Because all astrologers have different little tweaks on the energy.
Yes. So then aside from our incredible Bali retreat coming up, that is on the horizon. The Bali retreat is, I hope Santa did bring this and put it underneath your tree already because it is such a beautiful gift to give yourself. Flying around the world to a whole new place, a whole new culture, and one that is so rich and just it's a wealth of love and reverence. It will change you, and it will change you in a beautiful way.
It'll recall the simple life.
Yes, and just realize how beautiful life is. And really, coming even back to our first mention about the Venus sextile Pluto, that love can change your life. I think that the Balinese people just have such a lovable life. So I wanted to share that.
I was doing some readings today because I offer a 15-minute complimentary reading for anyone that is seriously interested in going to Bali with us. So I look at their natal chart and see what the energy is of that moment in Bali for those 11, 12 days.
Right. And even some of our podcast listeners are coming to Bali with us.
I know.
So we'll see you guys there.
That talking about this, and then we'll talk briefly about the little bit of the logistics.
Right.
And I just pause and think, I don't know how to describe the reverence, the beauty, the sacredness, the rituals, their less is more attitude. They never gossip. You can barely get information from them. You have to actually know what you're asking so that they answer exactly the question. We, of course, our family, Koman, Bude, our Balinese family, and they'll take care of you like they take care of us.
Absolutely. So, of course, head to our website, intentionbeads.com/events if you're interested in learning a little bit more.
Early bird.
And yes. So, and finally, our house, where Sandy and I want to talk a little bit about our Christmases. Well, our favorite Christmas game.
Right.
And this is a big deal. Because it is
so, I'm the oldest of four, and my mom and dad, God love them, 88, 86-ish, my mom. But I'm the gamer. I'm the creative, imaginative.
Yeah, always
in the family, and. When it comes to Christmas, it's like, Sandy, what are we going to do? What's our game? How should we buy our gifts? What's our dirty Santa gift? And I'm stuck, having to use my vision and create something fun.
Yeah.
So one year, you and I'm like, Alex, I need help. Let's come up with this. Let's do the Shark Tank, something like that.
Well, originally, let's back up a little bit because we started pretty much like a Christmas Olympics. Do you remember this? Where we had different games and, there was one where you had to like tap an egg to your forehead.
It's the Jimmy Fallon egg
right.
Challenge.
Right, of course. But the one like really amazing game that we made up is called Reindeer Tank.
Right, we were doing something like the Shark Tank. We wanted my mom and dad to wear reindeer antlers, which they did, sit in on two chairs with their papers with everybody's name. There's like 21 of us.
They were the reindeer investors.
They invested in something that you were to sell in front of them, in front of all of us, one at a time. Now, you were given 1 minute to pick
pick the present, pick the wrapped present.
So here's what Alex and I did. We're like, oh, now we need gifts. Now we need presents. Now we need things. We go down into the ancient archives of a basement in our studio.
All of our jewelry displays, all of our, window displays. And we found some amazing things.
Random pieces of garbage, really. I mean, not garbage, but things that were broken. We found a foot.
We found a telephone. We found the foot. That was a funny one. We found
a handle to an old purse.
Yeah.
Literally. And we put them each one at a time in this big black garbage bag.
Well, you could also wrap them if you wanted to. It would be kind of a fun game if you wrapped them.
You know what?
We had no time.
And actually black garbage bags really were an economical thing to bring because all the real
wrapping paper
all the real
we had to
wrappings
pick
went
up
in there.
afterwards.
And it wasn't waste. Who doesn't need more garbage bags?
Yes.
Anyway, the point is when we assigned somebody to go pick out a number, we had given cards out earlier. And the number one, the ace, had to go up first, and she got to pick. And we had numbers taped to the black bags that said,
this one was yours.
Yeah,
you picked number one. Here is your number one present. So they would go into a room. So here's the family all together in the family room with my grandparents and their reindeer, antlers on, just waiting in anticipation for somebody. They ran into the other room, hurried up, opened up the black, wrapping paper, and then pulled out this random object. And they had 1 minute.
I'm timing them. They have 1 minute to come up with a title of this item.
What is your product? What are you going to sell the reindeer tanks?
What's your product? What's the name of it? What's the tagline? How much is it? And is this for, is it
global consumption?
Business to business, B2C?
And you make up this whole entire proposal.
1 minute, boom. They got to go out in front of, now they've got 3 minutes in front of the reindeer tank to sell their item. They have to make some stuff up.
It is so.
And the reindeer tank, my mom and dad got to ask some clarifying questions. Mm-hmm. And so you never know what they're going to say.
Right.
And we just went one person, 21 of us, and we have never
laughed harder.
Even my nephew, who I thought would never get up, got up and did the funniest add to this thing. Like they were like my brother picked these little like
they were drawer pools.
Yeah, they were like knockers, but they were drawer pools and they were silver and round.
They almost looked like, and so there was like a screw sticking out of this this drawer pull, and it was just a silver kind of knob. And he has these 3 knobs in his hand, and he decides to be the uncle who's the coolest, and he doesn't even need the minute in there. He was just going to unwrap it in front of everybody and prove how smart he was.
Yeah.
And so he sat there looking at these knobs for about a good 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden looks up with this shocked look on his face, like, I can't believe I just made the genius idea of screwballs. And he sold these screwballs for 3 whole minutes, and we could not stop laughing on all of the uses for them and all of the, places that he wanted to sell them. And so that was by far, thank you so much for bringing this up in our house, because this is one of my absolute favorite games.
It sounds like you want to play it again.
I can't wait to play it again.
It doesn't cost, it costs nothing. I don't know how we would even sell it. But really go into a closet, go into the junk drawer, go into the basement or the garage.
And the more obscure these things are, the funnier they can be. So I
even found a big wood wedgie thing that,
mine was a foot with a string inside. It was like a display foot with a string inside. And so what I did was I tied the string to the ankle of this foot, and my product was a swift kick in the A. Because I would just swing this foot around and say, do you ever feel unmotivated and you really can't, you got to get that little spark, and here it is, a swift kick in the ass.
Really, and what was really cool is that mom and dad got to enjoy the game because they were asking these funny questions, and then we had so it was about 3 minutes of hysterical fun, and it was really cute because mom and dad hand out envelopes,
and
so they walked around. They're going to invest in your business because of this, and then your business because of that, and
it was
do the screwballs come in different colors? Just like. Play that game if you.
It was so much fun.
It's not a card game. It's not a board game.
And everyone's creativity just comes pouring out because you want that investment. You want those investors to choose you. Especially,
we didn't know that there was really money at the end, except that we always get money after that,
like a little gift.
But so energetic.
Yeah.
So energetic.
So brilliant.
And my family's not drinkers. We are non-drinkers. I mean, I am. My dad is, but no one else is. So it was hilarious. So we want to know what games you've made up to play.
Yes, we would love to hear your, Christmas games that you play, because we may need some more in the future. So send those to us on Instagram. We'd love to hear yours. I think that's a wrap for this episode. Yeah. Of course, get in touch with us. Instagram, on our website. Instagram is intention_beads. Our website is intentionbeads.com. Feel free to reach out to us via email if you have any questions about what we discuss on the podcast. There also are links in the description. So if you head over to the iTunes store, you'll be able to click those. And
have a solar-powered year. That's a TM. Go ahead and sign up.
Right.
And
we're really
have
excited.
It even more solar-powered year.
Yes.
Know your dates of this year.
Yes. And so we wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very wonderful holiday season. And we hope that you can join one of our events coming up.
We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week.